You're in.
This is Cruise Control.
Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
Hey everyone, welcome to Cruise Control. This is your on-air automotive magazine, and we are, as usual, sitting on a whole flock of stories. I don't know if that's the proper plural for stories, but it's a word. And of course, we cover the automotive industry, as everyone knows, because you know us. You've known us for years. I'm Les Jackson. The guy laughing at me is Fred Staub.
Yes, and
that's your new car, Fred.
Well, thank you, Les. I'm looking forward to it. The Aston Martin V12 Vanquish revealed this week. V12 Goodness. Quite the vehicle, isn't it?
They're spectacular looking cars. Period. I mean, they're just wonderful. If you can afford one.
If you can afford one, I don't even think we have pricing because you just wouldn't ask about it if you were on the market for it. But we have something a little less expensive, and that is the Ioniq 5. And just like so many manufacturers that have, built a beefier, off-roady looking version of their vehicles, well, the folks over at Hyundai have built the Ioniq 5 XRT, and it's supposed to be kind of more off-road capable. I never thought about that in that vehicle as an off-roader, but hey, you know what? It's cool. It's cool to see what they did, right?
Absolutely. It's for the active lifestyle, of course, and for those that don't have surfboards and kayaks, they have mountain bikes.
You need a stand-up paddleboard. That's the...
Absolutely. So, good for you. And no thanks. I'm not interested in going with you off-road. But appreciate the offer. Listening in, is Ford going to spy on your in-car conversations? That's a little bit of Big Brother. But we'll talk about that.
Haven't you ever thought your phone does that? I mean, when you mention something very strange, you're talking about something very strange, and have you ever tried that, and then all of a sudden you get the ad for it? That's what they're talking about.
This happens constantly.
Yes. I'm not saying Googling it, because Googling it, you'll definitely get the ad.
It will happen, but my wife and I will be talking about things, or she'll be looking something up, and I get an advertisement for it on my computer.
Absolutely. Well,
and so there.
Maybe we're going to look up the brand new Toyota Land Cruiser. I will have an at-the-wheel review of that and more on Cruise Control when we come back. So stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Yeah. Who doesn't love a beautiful vehicle? The Aston Martin Vanquish.
They're just such perfect designed automobiles.
People may hate me for this, but I really like a long hood and a short rear deck when it comes to sports cars.
I do too. Always have.
I have to say I miss that in the Corvette. I wish they could have built another model of the Corvette that was still rear drive with the long hood and the short rear deck and not just the mid-engine model. I really do. I think, to me, it's a cooler look. it makes me feel better, But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Aston Martin Vanquish. And as it says, the PR people say, an icon returns to reign supreme. The new 5.2-liter V12 twin-turbo engine, 835 PS. Now, Les, what's your calculator say?
Well, it's 1,000 Newton meters. So, without doing a quick calculation, about 730 horsepower.
And it has the highest maximum speed of any Aston Martin production car. That's 214 miles an hour.
That's right.
A new chassis features plus 80 millimeter increase in wheelbase. Bilstein DTX stampers, electronic rear diff, and AML specific 21-inch Pirelli P0 tires.
Okay, I have Pirelli P0 tires on my new car.
Cost you significantly less.
So at least I'm part of the way there, Fred.
That's true.
For that.
That's true.
Okay.
Full-length panoramic glass roof and bespoke state-of-the-art infotainment system. You better hurry, though. Oh, it even has like luggage with it, doesn't it? Luggage.
Listen, that's pure class. Only Jaguar used to do that on their old XK 120s and 140s and 50s. I think that's lovely. I just really do. And by the way, if you buy one of these or any of the supercars and you want to go that fast, NASA will let you rent their 5-mile runway down at Cape Kennedy.
Oh, wow.
I believe it's $250 an hour. So, I mean, it's really a deal.
It is a deal. And I bet a lot of flying mile competitors use that.
Yes, a lot. Well, all the car companies know it, and they're renting it, for the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do that.
Well, there's as you know, there's that's a form of racing where they go there and you go all out, and it's a flying mile, so you get a mile to come up to speed. You're timed for a mile,
right?
And then you get a mile to shut down, slow down.
Yeah,
I think it would be fun.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't recommend taking your new car out there, though.
Well, I can't. I mean, my top speed is about 140.
Yeah, but I did think somebody, like a X-drag car, like a tube frame car.
I could take the Cobra there.
The Cobra would do it. The Cobra
174 is its top speed.
Yeah, that would be a lot of bugs in your teeth type moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, just so you know, that's limited, the Vanquish, to 1,000 customers per year.
Shucks.
Scheduled to begin in Q4. Who do you think will get one? Leno? Clarkson? You think Clarkson will get one?
I think, he genuinely loves Aston Martin, so I think he'll get one.
Don't blame him. I don't blame him,
I don't blame him at all. That's my favorite car, just because of the combination of elegance and class and power.
Yes. It is a beautiful vehicle. All right. Well, we've waxed poetic about it enough, I guess.
That's it.
Let's come back to something that is just a little more affordable, and the Ioniq 5. We're going to talk about this when we come back. Oddly, it has a off-road version. What's going on with that? Great little electric vehicle, but I don't know. Off-road? Well, we'll talk about that when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staub and Les Jackson. We will be right back. I don't quite get that, but you know what? I thought about it. I don't care. They're doing some interesting things.
I'm going to quickly check price of new Aston Martin
Vanquish. I would say around 300.
Ooh!
So foolish, Fred. What is it?
I was going to say 250.
Uh-huh.
Well, if
We're
you
both
add
wrong.
those two together,
Oh my God, 500,000.
no, it's $430,000 plus destination.
I am going to buy a die-cast of this model though when it comes out.
It's actually got a starting price of $375.
Les's thinking is like, hey, if
formats,
I take a second mortgage on my home
Yeah.
and take all my savings.
Yeah, 430, well equipped. Floor mats, $3,000.
That's right. Probably each one of those little leather satchels back there are
Right.
$3,000.
Air for your tires, $600.
And here comes the guy with the drill to put with the nameplate of the dealer.
But you can get it for what can you get for? Oh, Vantage for $271. No,
Not the Vanquish.
Yeah, the Vanquish. You're going to spend, north of $400,000.
I bet there'll be a Lego model of this.
It is. It's I've always loved Aston Martins. I just think that they're elegant.
They're very elegant. They're a true GT.
They're cultured.
Yes.
You don't expect an owner of an Aston Martin to be wearing a cowboy hat and going to a barbecue.
Or an Elvis costume.
Yeah.
Cruise Control.
Hey, welcome back to Cruise Control. Well, we're coming downhill from the Aston Martin.
We're going to talk about a great car, though.
Because we just learned the price, and I'm not even going to say it on the air because it'll scare too many people. But
430, I'll say it.
Okay, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
But you don't have to spend that because you can get yourself a 2025 Ioniq 5. Including the new Adventure Ready. That's their words.
Get that
XRT
kayak out, man. Get it.
Oh man! I mean, there it is. We've got a photo of this thing off road, throwing the dust up.
Yep.
And off road is the big thing now. I mean, I can't drive anywhere, and I'm here in Washington D.C. like there's off road. Within 40 miles of here. And I'm the roads every day. I'm seeing jacked up Jeeps with big knobby tires, and everything is the off-road new versions of various vehicles. So this is really catching the attention of an awful lot of buyers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
I think people like the look. I never really thought about taking this. This might be a cool rally car. I don't know, but
could be.
It gets a range boost up to the all-wheel drive goes from current range of about 260 up to 280, depending on the wheel and tire size, and then the rear-wheel drive is now 303. At its maximum, it gets now, the new one gets a 310-mile range. There's a little camo trim on this. There's some cool-looking off-road wheels, a lot of black cladding. I guess they did their research that they would need something with all-terrain wheels, and I don't know whether it's lifted up at all, but, I'm not quite sure about this. But why not? I mean, it's upgraded standard model, high performance. It's between the upgraded standard model and the high performance. Ioniq 5N is designed to appeal to customers who want to play in the dirt and have all electric adventures.
Oh, I like to play in the dirt, but
Yeah, and I
don't
like this vehicle. I'd probably go for the N
I do
more than
too.
this.
Actually, you and I both agree that for an electric vehicle, the Ioniqs have constantly been just really a pleasure to
Yeah,
drive.
yeah,
And by the way, they now have access to 17,000 of the Tesla chargers.
that's a plus. Yeah,
Oh, it's a huge plus because they can pretty much go anywhere. You have to pay for it.
yeah. Well, the XRT cabins creates an immersive, dynamic driving environment, high-tech seating surfaces, and XRT unique patterning, XRT badging, logos, and a black headliner.
I was just going to say that.
While it's cool, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do we need a XRT model of the Ioniq 5?
For me, it actually kind of appeals to me more than just the straight Ioniq, but I would have to drive in it, because I suspect that it's kind of a harsh suspension, or harsher,
Yeah.
which I don't like. So, and maybe it's a little noisier.
It could be. It could be. Hey, let's talk a little tech here. There was some talk that Ford, this is according to a Motor Trend article, Ford has patented an in-car system that eavesdrops on your conversation with your passenger, or maybe someone that you have someone on the phone you're talking with on the phone, so it can play ads. Like if you were saying to somebody that you're riding with, wow, I'm getting really hungry. I wish there was a Chick-fil-A around here. All of a sudden an ad would come on with a coupon, and would you like me to set your directions to the Chick-fil-A? Now, this is just a patent. But
it's patent filing. It doesn't mean they're going to do it.
No, and they could be doing it, filing the patent just to block it from somebody else. Or to sell it. But I have long suspected that phones did this, and I don't think I'm a tinfoil hat-wearing guy for saying that.
I believe you, yes.
We've always tried it and just mention something 2 or 3 times, like a destination,
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you'll start getting ads for it, won't you?
Yeah, no, your phones are, why anybody uses their phones for all their banking is beyond me. It's they're being listened to. There is no security on a cell phone, and one day it can come back to really bite you terribly. But yes, I mean, I might mention something that I heard was in a magazine, and suddenly I get an ad for the magazine.
Right.
And that's I don't know, that's an intrusion. It's
well, I still find it creepy, but we're a little bit older compared to some people that don't. I mean, advertisers would say, like, well, why do I get products for, bad feet when I have good feet? And I don't need that. And so what they're saying is, well, we're going to send you ads for something that you might actually like. And I have clicked on a few ads that sounds interesting. But then I realize, you'll pay the price for that. You'll forever get ads for that. But do you find it more valuable? That's the whole idea, that these ads would be valuable. Okay, you like Dunkin' Donuts coffee, get a free donut when you buy a cup of coffee, and here's a Dunkin' Donuts around the corner. GM has talked about this too. They have talked about doing that type of thing. But then on the other hand, you say, well, as we said earlier in the show, they're saying, well, Android Auto is distracting. Well, what about an ad for a cup of coffee when you're driving down the highway? Isn't that distracting too?
It is distracting, but it's kind of benign. But what I don't want is to be talking on the phone and saying, "Remind me when we get home that on this trip that I need to buy some coffee filters," and then I get swamped with coffee filter ads for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, but that could be something that happens. That could certainly be something that is a result. That's what I think. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's talk a little bit about a new reveal that happened this week, Les. And that is the new Volkswagen Taos, or Taos. How do you say it?
Taos. Is how they call it in New Mexico.
Also metallic green, which seems to be a trend.
Seeing more and more of it.
Yep. So
it's like a yellowish green.
New bold look, upgraded technology, more power. Revised 1.5 turbo engine offers 174 power. All-wheel drive miles equipped with a conventional 8-speed auto. A lot of people did not like the DSG. I actually had the DSG in the one I tested, which was a 2024. And it takes a little bit of getting used to. There's some dead spots in it, and that you have to really get used to it, And so I think putting a regular 8-speed in this vehicle will be a good thing. We'll talk more about this and more on Cruise Control when we come back. Fred Staub and Les Jackson. We will be right back with more Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Fred Staub and Les Jackson talking about the Taos. Interesting vehicle from Volkswagen, upgraded for 2025. We were saying how they put a regular 8-speed transmission in it, auto transmission in it, to replace the DSG. DSG can feel a little notchy at times, a little different.
Yeah.
But 8-speed, I think, will do this well. It's got some cool lighting across the front, upgraded displays. I think this is a vehicle that probably deserves some love from the folks at Volkswagen. And they've made, I think, the interior much nicer. They've made some unfortunately, some of the controls appear to have gone, the knobs have gone away, and they've gone to the haptic system. But I think it's a good-looking interior. I think there's upgraded materials, and I think this will be a good player for them in their lineup. Bigger screens. They do have a volume knob and a tuning knob.
Gotta have that.
But they've gone away from the 3 knobs from the heating and air conditioning. So, but there you go. A little bit of an update for that Volkswagen, which is you got to keep it fresh. I do like how they do the nav system right in front of you in the binnacle. I think that is I think that's kind of a cool feature. I always like that, and you can get a full display. Yeah. So good stuff. Also, have you noticed Volkswagen's going away from the kind of austere, hard, black and gray interiors that they...
I was just going to talk about that. It's for so long, they've been quality materials, but austere. Porsche has always bothered me with the same austere, Spartan, as I've always called it, interiors.
Right.
I want some luxury. I've spent a lot of money. I want some doodads and some stuff. Yeah, that particular interior on the new Taos looks very inviting.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Absolutely does. Hey, let's talk about our next story here about Jaguar. I'm not so sure about this, but we'll get some takes from our
Yeah.
listeners on this. Jaguar is basically shutting down pretty much all of their vehicles. And they're going to have this period where they'll just be selling the vehicles that they have built. And they're going to revamp the brand. And it's going to just be super luxury, high cost EVs. And this is going to be their future. The first vehicle will be a 4-door electric GT with a range of up to 430 miles. So this is according to Rawdon Glover, who said Jaguar won't build cars that don't make customers want to spend $120,000.
That's being a bit elitist, I think.
I wonder. So they're becoming a niche player. They are no longer a
Yeah.
luxury, but full line.
Now, is this because, Mr. Staub, that Jaguar's sales have been consistently getting smaller and smaller and smaller over the past 10 years? And that they don't, they used to have this niche, in the days of beautiful wood interiors and leather that smelled great and all that, but now they're not distinctive that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there are lots of other players. So maybe the thing to do for them is right. Just appeal to the high end buyers and don't try to make a car that's semi elegant, I guess is the phrase I'm looking for.
Well, I mean, think about it. U.S. manufacturers had a brief brush with this idea of we'll sell less cars, but for higher amounts of money.
Right.
Ford thought about it. GM thought about it. And all of a sudden, they realized, hey, it's not working. Now, Jaguar, is a luxury mark to begin with. But I don't know. I mean, they're calling this, they're going to stop building their current models, and they call it a fire break. That's what their CEO has said, a fire break which will separate the current era from the new one. And the automaker during this time of the fire break will rely on the F-Pace, and dealers won't have much to sell. Some are expected to close up. Glover acknowledged that. There will be some very painful things as part of this move up market.
Yeah. Well, they only sold 8,300 Jags in America last year. That's not anywhere near enough to support the dealers.
And you and I, previously on editions of Cruise Control, we had some comments like, oh, you guys are crazy. The Jaguar brand is going to go away. We based it on, things like the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg reporting and Reuters and others. So it wasn't like we were making it up. That's some pretty good business publications. I don't know how long this fire break is going to happen. And to not have one model, which you're probably not going to update, which is not a super popular model, the F-Pace, and that's all you're going to sell, you might end up with no dealers left.
You might end up, because the dealers are investing an awful lot of money in these stores, and if you're not offering stuff
to sell
for people to come in and buy, and not just one thing, I wouldn't put my money into it as a dealer. There are plenty of other models I can get a dealership for and make money.
Yeah, you have to have product. And Bob Lutz from GM used to say it's all about the product. Yep. Seems pretty straightforward. If you want to sell cars, When someone comes in and says, well, I want a 3-row SUV. Well, you have one. Hey, here's our 3-row SUV. You don't say, I don't know. I don't have that. I don't know. I would love to hear commentary on this from our listeners as to, what do you think about this? Will this fire break idea, and then we're going to go with some high-end all-electric vehicle? I mean, they're turning themselves into Lucid, basically, or businesses like that. I'll say Lucid because Lucid sells cars, electric cars. I won't say like Rivian because at least they have trucks, and they're mostly trucks and SUVs. So Or, and I know this is insulting a little bit, but or are they on the way to becoming the Spinal Tap of the auto industry? I don't know. I don't know.
I hope not, because it has a wonderful history. It was a great brand. They didn't make very good cars for a long time. They do now, but they were beautiful and they were fun.
Yeah.
Well, I hope something works.
Now, a different type story here. NHTSA is Jeep Wrangler owners and Gladiator owners want to listen up for this. NHTSA is probing mysterious Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator fires. The fires are suspected to originate from the passenger front side of the engine compartment, and NHTSA has received numerous filed reports, including death and injury report about the issue. It could be power steering pump electrical connector related. They're not sure. So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's Office of Defects, or ODI, has received 9 owner questionnaires, multiple field reports, and, as I said, a death and injury report. These documents claim the engine compartment fires can ignite even when the vehicle ignition is off, and the fire is believed to start on the passenger side of the engine compartment. That is a huge thing, isn't it?
That's huge. And, when it's huge when you get a call, in this case, Jeep gets a call from, "Hi, this is Bob from National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. We need to have you come down and have a chat."
Yes.
You know that this isn't good.
Yeah. It is big news. And, if you have one of these vehicles, and many people do, it may be something to think about. Certainly get it on your radar. It's scary that the thing can catch fire in the middle of the night. And
that's a current leak somewhere.
Well,
but who knows where?
Who knows where? When we come back, we're going to have an at-the-wheel review of the brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Premium. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staub and Les Jackson, we are glad you're here and along for the ride. And as always, don't forget to check us out on our social media platforms. Les, it is time to talk about the Toyota Land Cruiser. Of course, big news in 2024. The legendary Land Cruiser returns after a 2-year hiatus. This time it is all of them in the U.S. are equipped with the iForce Max hybrid powertrain, 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. Ours was in Heritage Blue, and I thought it was quite attractive. It also had the two-tone roof and the utility rack on the top, which I think looks quite stout. I was very intrigued with this vehicle. You go inside, it's got this great brown textured upholstery, which is almost like a football type texturing if you look at it close. All the modern cons on the inside here. It's a kind of a mix of brown and black on the interior. A lot of traditional switchgear. Love the side view mirrors. They were sort of like having two iPads hanging on the side of your vehicle. Plenty big. Driver attention system in the vehicle, and then wonderful grouping of paddles and buttons. Easy to use. No going through tons of menus. Lots of buttons. Lots of things to push. Got a mode select switch right up near the driver, which is great. You get some great great graphics on that. Eco, normal, and sport are the various different modes. You got crawl mode. You can lock all the differentials. You can lock just the rear differential. You can electronically disconnect the stabilizer bar for more articulation, and it's easy to move from four-wheel drive high and low with a little flipper switch. I also like the cool box. While it's not a fridge, it will cool down water and that, and makes it a lot more enjoyable. Out back, plenty of headroom because this thing is a square. So square roof line and good rear leg room. You got some connectivity out back, 12-volt and USB-C, and also looks like some other models get more connectivity. Maybe we don't get it. Electronic controls, fan speed, no heated seats in this model, though. What I did like is there's a low belt line. You can see it kind of sweeps up at the back, but low belt line for both the driver and the rear passengers. Overall, nice interior, dominated by that big screen. And just high-end materials. I liked it a lot, and I love the visibility. In the rear, the seats fold up. You would make you think there's a third row, but there's not. The battery hides under sort of a storage box. Even in the back, in the luggage area, which is enormous, you will see there are cup holders and USB-C connectors. We'll explain about that in a little bit. But good storage space, good rear visibility, very upright rear hatch, and a 2400-volt inverter, AC inverter in the back. A little bit of storage underneath for things like the jack and things like that. This vehicle is so new; it still had the plastic on the speakers, which was kind of interesting. iForce Max Hybrid. That is the one and only powertrain we get in the U.S. In international markets, you can get things like diesels and that, and non-hybrid models. We only get the hybrid model, which is okay because plenty of horsepower. As I said, 326 is the horsepower, 465 is the torque. Ours was available or presented in Heritage Blue, and I like the color a lot. I thought it was really, really a subtle blue. And really good. But you can get it in Trail Dust, which is a traditional color for the Land Cruiser. And there's a couple of different models on this, Les. You can get the Land Cruiser 1958, which has the round headlights. That's the entry-level model, $55,590. The Land Cruiser Premium, which with the premium package is which we have, starts at $61,950. And then the first edition, which also gets round headlights, $74,950. And that's the first edition, available in that kind of yellow trail dust color. So let's talk a little bit about some of the options ours had. Ours had, of course, the 20-inch alloy wheels, which is a $1,240 option. The Land Cruiser Premium Package, $4,600, which brings in 14-speaker JBL premium audio. As I said, some of those speakers were still covered in plastic. This vehicle was so new. Illuminated entry, digital key, moonroof with power sunshade, digital rear view mirror, Qi-compatible wireless charger, memory seats, traffic jam assist, trial subscription to Drive Connect. And then we had some individual options. That two-tone roof, which kind of looks like a silver over the Heritage Blue, was $350. The ball mount, which was sitting in a cardboard box in the back. The carpeted cargo mat, $130. Carpeted floor mats, $179. Illuminated door sills for $360. Roof rack, $1440, which was quite beefy, by the way. And wheel locks for $105. That brought up the suggested retail price to $70,434 with a $1,395 destination, $71,829. So very well equipped, and below that first edition. But good looking vehicle. I definitely think it's a great looking vehicle. And, I like the heritage blue. I thought that was a cool look for the vehicle, and quite capable off-road or on-road. And we put this through its paces. We didn't take it off-road, but we did take it on the highway. Rode well. Definitely a flat, upright windshield, which gives it more of a trucky feel. You kind of sit upright in the driver's seat. But let's face it, that's what buyers of this vehicle want. Had interesting fog lights that were switchable between yellow and white. But capable vehicle. I'm sure these will find their way onto the desert sands of Dubai and other places like that. Mileage, well, not great. Highway 25, city 22 for an aggregate number of 23. And it has not been crash rated. Final assembly for this is Hamurka, Tokyo, Japan. And you think about it, you're getting your money's worth when you ship this from Japan, aren't you?
Well, you are. And it's not bad mileage for a big square air dam of a truck-like body.
Yeah, just that windshield alone, you're pushing a lot of air with the windshield. But good-looking vehicle. I think, of course, it will do super well for Toyota. Great hybrid upgrade. I just found the rear seat interesting. As I was telling you before the show, I thought, why do these seats flip up if there's no third row seat? And I was looking for the third row seat under that box, which contains the battery. There's a little storage area. And I thought, wow, okay. And then I looked at a UK review, and yeah, the guy sitting there's 2-passenger third row seat that folds up electrically, only available in non-hybrid models, which means it's only available in other markets around the U.S., around the world, not the U.S., other markets around the world that get the non-hybrid version. So is it a turnoff that it is only 2 rows? No, I don't think so. I think people are looking for a very, very capable SUV, and they will find it with the Land Cruiser. So there you have it, the Toyota Land Cruiser Premium. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.
Bye.